Okay, so let's dive into one of history's most fascinating and honestly tragic figures, Sun Yu. Here's a guy whose entire life's mission was to save an empire, but in a crazy twist of fate, he ended up building the very power that would tear it all down. So when Xun Yu finally joins up with the warlord Cao Cao, the first thing out of Cao Cao's mouth is, "Here comes my Zifeng." Now you have to understand, this is like the highest praise you could possibly get. He's comparing Xun Yu to the legendary strategist who literally helped found the Han Dynasty. It's a huge deal. And yeah, for the next 20 years, these two were an absolute dream team. So that's the big question, right? How does the Han Dynasty's greatest champion become the chief architect for the guy who effectively ends it? It's this incredible story of loyalty, ambition, and that tragic, inevitable moment when two grand visions for the future just collide. Okay, to really get this paradox, we've got to start with Sun Yu's grand plan. And let's be clear, this was not a plan to destroy the Han Dynasty, it was a plan to save it. Even from a young age, this guy's reputation was legendary. A famous scholar basically looked at him and said he had the king-assisting talent, prophesying that he was destined to be the right-hand man to a true ruler. And this wasn't just, a nice compliment. It became his entire identity. And his early career? It all came down to one absolutely brilliant and kinda crazy choice. He walks away from the most powerful warlord in all of China, Yuan Shao, because he sees him as a total pretender. And who does he join instead? The much weaker, scrappier Cao Cao. Why? Because he believed Cao Cao was the only one who actually had the guts and the vision to save the dynasty. Okay, and this is where you see his genius, and it's something people get wrong all the time. His strategy was simple but brilliant. Have Cao Cao go and rescue the powerless Han Emperor. Bam. It's a total masterstroke. Instantly, Cao Cao's government becomes the legitimate one, and every single one of his rivals, they're now officially rebels. That popular, twisted version, hold the emperor hostage, it totally misses the point. For Xun Yu, this was always about saving the Han. So with that strategy in place, Sun Yu just gets to work. For the next 2 decades, he's the guy making it all happen, the absolutely indispensable man behind Cao Cao's incredible rise to power. You can really think of it like this. Cao Cao was the sword, the military genius out on the battlefield. But he could only be that genius because Sun Yu was the shield, the ultimate statesman running the entire government back home. He was managing logistics, vetting every official, drafting policy, basically doing everything to keep the state running like a well-oiled machine. He laid the foundation for every single one of Cao Cao's victories. Oh, and the guy was a master recruiter, a true headhunter. Using his own rock-solid reputation, he brought in all the best and brightest minds of the era to join at Cao Cao's cause. He basically built this brain trust that would power the whole regime for decades. And yeah, that little recommendation of a young Sima Yi? Let's just say that's one of history's great big ironies. We'll get to that. But listen, Xun Yu wasn't just some quiet guy shuffling papers in an office. No way. His courage was put to the ultimate test during the Yan province crisis. Cao Cao's away on campaign, and his entire home base revolts. Nearly everyone turns on him. His whole career is literally about to go up in flames. So while everyone else is panicking, what does Xun Yu do? He stays completely cool. He organizes the defense, he roots out traitors hiding inside the city walls, and he somehow manages to hold on to the last 3 loyal cities in the entire province. Let me be perfectly clear about this. Without Xun Yu, Cao Cao has nowhere to go. No home base, nothing. He literally saved him from total absolute annihilation. All right, fast forward a few years. We're at the Battle of Guandu. This is the make-or-break battle of Cao Cao's entire career. And things are looking bad. Really bad. He's vastly outnumbered, his supplies are gone, and honestly, he's psychologically broken. He's ready to pack it in and retreat. And just as he's about to give up, a letter shows up. It's from Xun Yu. And it's not a suggestion, it's pretty much a command. Do not retreat. He insists that the enemy, yeah, they're big, but they're on the verge of total collapse. All you have to do is hold on. And Cao Cao listens, he holds on, and he wins this absolutely stunning, career-defining victory. Once again, who's the one providing that strategic backbone? It's Xun Yu, preventing a fatal mistake. So for 2 decades, this partnership was perfect. It was flawless. They had the same vision, a strong Cao Cao protecting a restored Han dynasty. Simple. But as Cao Cao's power just kept growing and growing, so did his ambition. And pretty soon that ambition started to stretch way beyond their shared goal. And this, right here, is where the tragedy really kicks in. After he unifies northern China, something in Cao Cao shifts. He's not content just being the dynasty's protector anymore. Now, he wants to be its master. And Xun Yu? Well, he's about to face an absolutely impossible choice. The breaking point? It all comes down to something called the 9 bestowments and the title Duke of Wei, which Cao Cao wanted. Now, this was not just some fancy promotion. In the political language of the day, this was a flashing neon sign. It was a clear, totally unambiguous signal that he was about to create his own state and, you guessed it, his own dynasty. So naturally, Cao Cao goes to his #1 guy, his chief advisor, for his blessing. And Xun Yu says no, flat out refuses. He publicly opposes the whole thing, reminding Cao Cao that his job was to be a loyal subject of the Han. And in that one moment, everything comes to a head. His 2 loyalties, his loyalty to his lord, Cao Cao, and his loyalty to the dynasty, they finally collide. And he chooses the dynasty. You have to imagine this from Cao Cao's point of view. This wasn't just defiance. This was a public slap in the face from his most trusted advisor, the very architect of his power. He couldn't just let that go. In his eyes, it was a betrayal, and it absolutely sealed Xun Yu's fate. So what happened next? Well, his death is shrouded in mystery. The official story is pretty bland. He got stressed out, fell ill, and died. But there's another, much more dramatic story that has stuck around, probably because it feels more politically true. The story goes that Cao Cao sent Xun Yu a gift. It's a food box. But when Xun Yu opens it, it's completely empty. And Xun Yu understood the message perfectly. An empty food box meant, there's no more food for you for me. It meant, your service is no longer required. It was a quiet, chilling command to end his own life. Now, whether it happened exactly like that, who knows? But the political truth is the same. His death was a direct consequence of standing in the way of Cao Cao's ambition. And that leaves us with this incredibly complex legacy. So what was he? A tragic hero who died for his principles? A naive idealist who didn't see what was coming? Or was he a pragmatic enabler who just lost control of the monster he helped create? Think about it. He was the architect of a brand new order, but he died as the last great defender of the old one. It's a fascinating question, and one historians still argue about. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think? Was Xun Yu's unwavering loyalty what made him a hero or a fool?